Do you have any other sources of income?
I do live with my boyfriend who works, and he supports me and Jonathan as well.
Yes, Your Honor. So we're here on state's original petition and suit affecting the parent-child relationship filed March 16th of 2023. As you said, there was an agreed order that was declined. I'm going to go ahead and go through that agreed order just to make sure that, just to read what the agreements were onto the record. Parties agreed to be joint managing conservators with the child's primary residence maintained in Travis or any contiguous county. They agreed to a 50-50 possession schedule, which is attached to the end of the order. It is a week on, week off schedule. Mr. Gonzalez is unemployed. So we use minimum wage presumption as his gross monthly resources. There was no private health insurance available, so parties agreed to government medical. They agreed that medical support was set at $57 per month, but that child support would be set to zero due to them exercising a 50-50 possession. They agreed to no retroactive support, and that court costs were as billed starting due December 27th, 2024. And they also agreed that no non-disclosure was ordered. And I will call Miss Alyssa, if you're ready for me, Judge, I'd like to call Miss Alyssa Guerrero as my first witness. Miss Guerrero, can you please state your name for the record?
Alyssa Diane Guerrero.
And can you please state the name of the child that you have with Mr. Gonzalez?
Jonathan Reyes Gonzalez.
And how old is that child?
He's 2.
Did you hear the agreements that I read onto the record?
I did.
Did that accurately reflect what your agreement was?
Yes, it does.
And are you currently working?
I am not.
Do you have any other sources of income?
I do live with my boyfriend who works, and he supports me and Jonathan as well.
Okay. Are you planning to get a job at any point in the future?
Yes, I have an interview with my boyfriend's work. He works at Delaware Airport, so I'm going to be working along with him.
Okay. And the order lists Spirit Halloween as your employer. What happened with Spirit Halloween?
That was only a seasonal job. That ended November 14th. So it's just a seasonal job that I had when I wasn't working at Dollar General. Before then, I was working at Dollar General.
Y'all agreed to a 50-50 possession schedule. Have y'all been following a 50-50 possession schedule prior to this order being signed?
Yes, it's been going on since basically we separated.
Can you go into a little bit of what that schedule looks like?
So I have Jonathan for a week, and we trade on Sundays, and then he would have him for a week, and I would get him back the following Sunday.
And how have those visits been going?
They're good. It gives him a chance to spend time with me and his dad, of course. Just a little more than usual.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, did you have any questions for the witness?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Campos, you may call you next.
Mr. Gonzalez, can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my full name is Tony Ray Reyes Gonzalez.
Did you hear the agreements that I read onto the record?
Yes.
And does that accurately reflect what you agreed to on Monday?
Yes.
Are you currently working?
No, ma'am.
And why is that?
Earlier this year, on January 14th, around 1:14 in the morning, I was involved in a vehicle accident which shattered my right tibia, and due to being in recovery, I am unable to work. Although I do have a doctor's appointment to get an update about the injury to see if I can get a green light to continue working or not. But right now, I am, to my knowledge, unemployed and still in recovery.
Okay, understood. Moving to visitation, do you agree with Ms. Guerrero that y'all have been exercising 50-50 visitation since y'all's separation?
Yes, ma'am. We've been doing good on keeping up with communication, either through myself or through our son's grandmother, my mother. With her assistance, we've been able to keep up the schedule of ensuring that Jonathan can spend an equal amount of time with the both of us.
And how have those visits, have they been going well?
They've been going extremely well. For my knowledge, I personally enjoy spending as much time as I can with my son.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Guerrero, did you have any questions for Mr. Gonzalez?
I do not.
Ms. Campos, anything else?
No, Your Honor, we would ask that you approve the agreements and make a determination as to the support.
Okay, so Ms. Guerrero, if I understand your testimony, you are being financially supported by your current, and that includes helping you with your son, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any other children with your current partner?
I do not.
You don't. Okay. So besides the financial assistance that you're receiving from your current partner, what other sources are you receiving from what other sources to help you with the financial support of your son?
Well, I do have savings. Like I said, I was only recently unemployed, and I'm in the process of getting another job. So it's not just my boyfriend supporting me. I can support myself as well.
So you are also providing financial support because you have Jonathan with you, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. Gonzalez, if I understood your testimony correctly, you are still under doctor's care regarding your injury.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, could you clarify, are you currently, are you released to do some work, if not full-time, maybe light duty or something like that?
Yeah, so that is the reason for my doctor's visit for the middle of December, to see if I would be able to obtain said permission for light duty, and then from there I would go about to finding work long enough to be able to get benefits, to be able to list my son as a beneficiary for medical. But currently, for the time being, I am being assisted with this whole situation through my family, which I'm grateful for. So currently, right now, I am working alongside my mother to ensure that Jonathan may have anything that he needs, be it Pampers, wipes, supplies, learning material here and there. And we also work alongside Alyssa as well. We ask if she ever needs anything to just let us know. We do buy Pampers and wipes to help assist with the care of Jonathan.
Okay. I think that, one of the reasons I declined your agreement is that there seems to be a misunderstanding that sharing possession of a child equates to no support being paid by either parent, and that's not always the case. Okay. What I'm hearing is that Ms. Guerrero is not working, but she still needs financial support, and she's relying on her savings and on someone that is not the father of the child.
Yes, I understand.
Both of you have a duty to support this child financially. And so I'm concerned that we have a child that is having to rely on really the kindness of strangers and also with state government. So Mr. Gonzalez, I did see that that there is an address. You and Miss Guerrero don't live near one another, do you?
No, ma'am. He lives over in Del Valle and I live up in Pflugerville.
Okay, so how is this child going back and forth? How is that child being transported? Whose responsibility is doing that? Who's taking care of that?
So far, we're both cooperating to ensure that our son is safely transported from one another. The main mode of transportation is my mother. She has agreed to assist us in this endeavor to ensure that our son gets safely transferred between the both of us.
Yeah, if it's not his mom picking and dropping him off, it's my boyfriend.
So Mr. Gonzalez, who do you live with? Who are you living with?
I live with my mother
Okay.
and her boyfriend, which I would label as my stepfather.
Okay. And you're not able to earn any sort of income at this time?
Not at the moment, but I hope that will change before the end of next month.
Okay. So you have the ability to go to work. I'm still not clear because I know you're going to go see your doctor, but I just needed a clarification about whether or not you are released to work either full-time or part-time or light duty.
That is unknown at the time, Your Honor, simply because I've yet to go to said appointments to check if I've been given the green light for light duty work for full-time or part-time.
Okay. Your injury was about almost a year ago.
Yes, the doctor has given the time frame of anywhere between a year to a year and a half for recovery.
So how are you supporting yourself then?
I'm sorry?
How are you supporting yourself if you're not able to work?
As I've mentioned before, I am graciously being taken care of by my parents, and I am under their roof, currently being cared for by them.
Okay, so besides your room and board, okay, so food, your housing, how else are they providing you support?
Yes, so they're providing support not only for what I need, but what for my son needs, their grandchild. They, I have spoken with them, and they have no issues in helping assist taking care of my son.
Okay. And how much of that support financially, if you can put a dollar amount, how much are your parents providing to you so that that could support your son?
So overall, in terms of food, monthly, that's for the entire household. Every week is around anywhere between $250 to $300. So that is approximately almost 1,200 a month just for groceries alone. And that's not including anything other than like bills and such like that. They are assisting with the purchases that are necessary for Jonathan via clothes, Pampers, wipes, as I've mentioned before, educational material. Basically, they are doing everything that they can and everything that they would like to do for their grandchild. So I'd say pretty much almost everything for the time being.
Do you have other children for whom you have a duty to support?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Jonathan is my only child.
So you've agreed to reimburse the state $57 for government medical coverage. So how are you going to come up with those funds to reimburse the state?
Yes. So as for those funds, my mother has agreed to assist me in taking on those funds. It's only really 57 a month. That is very manageable. I can pull my weight around the house so that way she doesn't feel like she's just paying all this for nothing in return. I I don't just sit here at home all day not doing anything. I help around the house with chores. I help with childcare because I do have several other siblings in the house with me that are all younger than me. So I assist in that. I assist in as I've mentioned before, chores, cooking, cleaning, as long as it's nothing too heavy, since I can't stand for long periods of time. If I may say something real quick, Your Honor, as I've mentioned before, I am extremely grateful for the family that I have been blessed with. They have proven to be able to assist me in one of my lowest times, and for that, I have endless appreciation for them.
Well, I think that you made a very good argument that you're relying on your parents for a lot of things, including paying your support. So I am going to order an amount of support in addition to the regular cash medical support, because I believe Ms. Guerrero can use that. Her current boyfriend does not have that duty nor responsibility to provide that additional support for Jonathan, but that's your job, okay?
Yes,
But I'm
ma'am, I am aware.
So I'm also going to order you into the NCP Choices program. You're very close to probably the end of your recovery time. And it's possible you may be able to be released for light duty work, but it'll take some time for NCP Choices to work with you to get you back into a position where they can help you find work. But it's a good program. They provide all sorts of incentives so that they can help you get full-time work and hopefully a position where health insurance is available. And that way you'll have that as well for your son. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to approve the orders or the agreements that were made as to conservatorship, possession and access, and your possession and access schedule in a very short time. Okay. This child's going to start school.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
we
Okay.
talked about that.
It's going and so I don't see any provisions to take you into the future. So this order will remain in effect until it changes. So even when the child starts school, you will be expected to follow the order week to week. I think that's going to be a little hard for Jonathan once he starts school. And the other thing you need to keep in mind is that the Attorney General's office does not, they don't get involved in modifying visitation schedules. So what I'm
If I may, Your Honor.
just a moment. Let me look here to see if there's any provisions as mutually agreed. Yes, so there is. So there is an order. There will be orders. No, there isn't. I'm sorry. There should be orders, Ms. Campos, that will allow these parents to have a mutual agreement. At least that might allow them to have to be able to do possession before there's a modification of visitation if one of the parents decides to bring that back to court. Is it? Okay, there it is. I see it.
Yeah, I think it says.
It is. It's just hidden. I didn't see it at first. I see it now. Okay. So you have some wiggle room. So when when Jonathan turns into school age, you may or may not live within the same school district, but right now you don't. So that's something you'll have to work out. Mr. Gonzalez, did you have something to add?
Yes, I spoke briefly to Alyssa prior to this meeting regarding that situation. And if push comes to shove, I think I will be all right with the idea of her having Jonathan 4 days out
I think his image.
Oh no,
referred to as, but if that would be better to
Mr.
school,
Gonzalez.
then I wouldn't mind sucking up my feelings and allowing for that schedule to occur for the betterment of Jonathan.
You broke up for a little bit, Mr. Gonzalez, but what I hear you saying is you and Ms. Guerrero have looks like you're starting to talk about what to do in the future once your son starts school. And as long as you mutually agree, that should be fine. Okay. I'm not going to make any other orders other than what you've agreed to in your proposed agreement. Okay. For support, besides ordering Mr. Gonzalez into the NCP Choices program, ordering that cash medical support as agreed, that's granted. Government medical coverage for the child is granted. I am deviating from the guidelines and ordering support in the amount of $100 instead of the guideline amount of $219. And so the total support per month, Mr. Gonzalez, will be $157. And that the deviation factors I'm using, Ms. Campos, 154.123B3 and B14. So I'm also considering that there's going to be some travel cost between Pflugerville and South Austin. No retroactive support is granted, so that agreement is approved. I am waiving court costs against Mr. Gonzalez. So those all remove, considering his circumstances.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And that should be it. So Ms. Campos, did you need anything, any clarification?
I just had one question, Your Honor. the date of the hearing, would you like me to put that as today? Or do you want me to use the 27th date, or just say on this date, the court considered this cause? I was just curious what date you want me to use.
You can use today's date, that's fine. Yeah, I'll make my docket entries that it was called on the 27th, but we had the hearing today.
Okay.
All right, folks, and these will be final orders. Thank you for coming back on short notice. I wanted to hear your testimony. I was a little, from what I could pick up on the agreement, I wanted to hear a little bit more about your circumstances. So I appreciate you coming back.
Your Honor, may I ask a question real quick?
Yes, sir.
Would you mind if I am sent an email with information regarding where to send this child support and the government medical?
Yes, it's going to be in your order. It's the state will draft the order, and it's usually in the section before what's called the statutory warnings. So it's this order, that proposed order I'm looking at, isn't, the pages aren't numbered, but there's going to be a section that will order income withholding. Once you get working, income withholding will be automatic, but it'll also have place of payment, and it's the state disbursement unit. Now, the state attorney general's office, they have a really good website of all kinds of ways people can make their payment, and you can do it electronically through credit cards. You name it, they've got all sorts of ways you can pay. I think you can even pay through Western Union, I think. But take a look at that, and it'll also have the address of the state disbursement unit in San Antonio, so that you'll know where to send your payment in.
Thank you very much for the information, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and conclude the hearing, and I think Mr. Gonzalez needs to go back to Zoom 1 so that you can get registered with the NCP Choices program, and that way they can talk to you about what's available for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop.
And I know everybody thinks that child support is for the child, but child support is not for the child. Child support is for the benefit of the child. The child has to live somewhere, doesn't he?
She does.
That means that somebody's either paying a house note or paying rent or something, right?
Correct.
All right. The child has to have transportation, has to be moved from one place to another. That means there's a possibility somebody has to make a car payment.